Alright guys, welcome to every bodybuilder's favorite day of the week, arm day. Lots of questions concerning arms, how I should train them, cables versus barbells versus dumbbells, should I do heavyweight, lightweight, and the answer honestly guys, it's a little bit of everything. But the most important thing, which I'll explain at the end of this video, is the intensity and the effort you put into every single set in order to maximize and get the results that you want. So we're starting things off here, warming the elbows up. I'm an old man, so the elbows need to be warmed up before I start moving into my heavier movements. So obviously I'm sticking with my rope pushdowns. And as I come down to the bottom, I actually want to spread that rope as far as I possibly can and get a little bit more contraction on the tricep itself. And as I've mentioned before, I make every set count. And as you can see here, I'm actually making this a double drop set. This is my last heavy set here. I'll do my first drop set. Again, I'm trying to get as many reps as I possibly can. And then I'll drop it one more time and do the same exact thing. Alright, so now the triceps and the elbows are nice and warmed up. Now we move on to the biceps to get those warmed up before I go into any type of heavier bicep movements. I usually stick with the preacher curl to get my arms warmed up. This piece itself isn't one of my favorites. The one that I usually use was taken today, so obviously I had to make do with what I had, but still a good movement. Here I'm just focusing more so on trying to get as much blood and much of a contraction to the top part of the bicep as possible. Alright, so if anyone's looking to put some real mass on your triceps, skull crushers, overheads, whatever, those are always going to be the go-to. And I do these every single week. Not necessarily this particular movement, but either a skull crusher lying flat down on an incline, overhead dumbbells, whatever it may be. Anytime I put the weight behind my head, that is where I get the best results, get the best pump, and I feel it definitely puts a lot of size and thickness into my triceps. And as you can see, I'm trying to get as far down behind the head as absolutely possible. Elbows are flared out a little bit here as well. And I'm going to go into my last set here. And this weight was, I think, 110 pounds. This is the heaviest bar we have here. So for me to walk away happy with this set, I'm going to go all out and do as absolutely many reps as I possibly can. And I believe I got 20 reps out of it. And I definitely felt it after that. Again, sometimes you gotta push it in order to get the results you want. Alright, now we're gonna move into some bicep curls. This can be done one of two ways, either seated as I'm doing here, or you can do them standing. The only real difference is when you're standing, you get a little bit of momentum and a little bit of rocking, which isn't a bad thing. But I preferred, again, to change up my workouts each and every week. So last week I did these standing. This week I started just to sit down and really focus on the bicep and try to get a good squeeze and get no momentum whatsoever. Just focus on the bicep altogether. And as you can see, I'm actually leaning into each rep. Personally, that's how I feel it the most. I kind of lean toward whatever side I'm about to curl and just really focus on bringing it up and getting a hard contraction at the top. Alright, so now we're going to move into a movement that's one of my go-tos for triceps. It's actually D-handle pushdowns, and if you can look at my hands closely, they're actually in a supinated grip. What I'm doing is when I come down to the bottom, I want to open those handles up as far as I possibly can, and try to get a good contraction and squeeze on my actual tricep itself. Again, this isn't a movement that you can go super heavy on, but there's no need to. You're going to feel it all in your triceps, and that's what you want. All right, so now we're moving on to one of my favorites for biceps, preacher curl using a single arm dumbbell. This is a movement that I really love because I can just focus on the one bicep at a time. When you're using like a barbell or a cable or something, there's always going to be that one side that's stronger than the other. But when you're doing this, you're forcing that one arm to work and really put a lot of pressure on that bicep. And if you look here, I think I get a really good contraction at the top part of the bicep, or what many people call the peak. I don't believe you can build the peak up. If you have a flat bicep, you have a flat bicep, you can't do anything about it. But if your biceps are pretty round like mine, you can really get them pumped up and looking good, especially when they're on stage. All right, moving on to the final tricep exercise for the day. It's going to be the weighted dip here. I really like this machine because I feel like the way it puts me in a position, I feel like I'm forced to get a really good stretch at the top of the movement before I'm able to push down and really contract and squeeze on the actual tricep itself. As you can see here, I'm in an upright position. I want to focus my arms back and kind of just focus directly on the tricep. A lot of the machines that I've used before, they force me forward, and I'm putting a lot of pressure on my actual shoulders and very little on my triceps. Here, this machine puts me in a position where I'm more upright, arms are kind of pushed back, as you can see, and all I'm working here is triceps. There's pretty much no shoulder at all being used while I'm doing this, and this is why I really love this piece itself. All right, guys, and now we're going to move on to the final bicep exercise for the day. And this is pretty much a standard for many. And this is just a reverse barbell curl. Here we're focusing on the brachialis as well as the forearms. And this is not a movement I personally like to go heavy on. I like to keep my reps pretty high here and very controlled. Come all the way down to the bottom and then come all the way up and make sure I squeeze on the actual bicep and work the movement. All right, and I'm gonna wrap things up with a few more movements for forearms. Not many people train forearms. They feel like they do get a good, forearm workout from doing back or biceps. But I've always liked to throw a few sets in here and there and really help grow my forearms, because when you hit that front door bicep and everything is just full around the way from the forearms to the biceps to the triceps, it just looks so much better on stage. So again, guys, if it's a muscle and it's there, train it. That's a wrap for arm day for me. That's what a typical arm day looks like for me. It doesn't matter if I'm using cables, barbells, dumbbells. What matters most is the intent that I'm putting forth into the actual workout. I train arms the same way I train legs: hard, heavy, and intense. So hope you guys enjoyed the workout. Give it a shot, and make sure you guys stay tuned for more videos coming soon.